everybody, this is Niall and Alex with the Drive Home Reviews. And we just saw
Becoming Led Zeppelin. It's the first Zeppelin approved documentary to ever come out.
It was good. I liked it. And it's taking place from their childhood into and past Led Zeppelin 2.
Led Zeppelin's my favorite band of all time, so I fucking loved it. But I have critiques for the critiques. Let me say, it was amazing, and it was really cool to see the surviving band members listen to John Bonham interviews.
Unheard John Bonham interviews.
Yeah, and see their reactions, because he had passed away early, like when the band was still together, and it affected the band members, especially Robert Plant, really greatly. So it was really endearing to see them hear their bandmate's voice. But I know it's about becoming Led Zeppelin. I wish they would have done more about past the 1970, when, like, with their third and fourth album, and then like the satanic stuff they were into, the falling out of the band, John Bonham's death, Robert Plant's son died when he was 7, like all of their divorces, and then like Jimmy Page was sleeping with a 13-year-old. Like, there's a lot of controversy and big topics and issues that could have been put on display, and I would have loved to hear what the band members had to say about that.
Maybe they're leaving it open for a second entry. But
I would love that.
This is definitely, if you're going in to find out about the chaos years, this is not that movie. This is really just about how they met, how they came up, how they started, and became Led Zeppelin.
It was really interesting because I didn't know that John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page were involved in so many. They were studio artists, so they worked on songs like 007 Anthem and
Goldfinger.
Yeah, it's just really cool. It was entertaining, and it kind of felt like we were just watching music videos for a while.
There were 4 segments in the movie that were long, like Dazed and Confused, and Train Kept a Rolling, where they just showed the music video.
Yeah. But it was definitely a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like rocking out.
And I always like those, like the Eagles documentary and Beatles documentaries, where they show where they came from, what their childhood was like, and how they met and what bands they were in. I always find that interesting.
John Paul Jones, he looked so good for his age, and he seemed so like prim and proper.
They all kind of seem like that. It wasn't like Robert Plant was always like, then I was homeless.
Well, maybe it's because they're British.
Yeah. I didn't realize how Jimmy Page was such an instrumental character. He was like Paul McCartney at the end of the Beatles. Like, he was the ringleader of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like Plant kind of wrote a lot of this stuff, but Jimmy Page was there being like, yay, nay, or let's add this, here's how we're gonna mix all of this.
Yeah, he was Jimmy Page when they finished recording the songs, he would mix the entire album. He would be the producer and did all this unique stuff like fading voices, and he uses a violin bow on the guitar, and he is a fucking god at the guitar, which I wish they would have shown John Bonham's skills on the bass, because John Bonham can play any instrument so fucking well, but they didn't really show that.
Jimmy Page is always ranked in like top 5 guitarist of all time, and it's crazy. I just started playing guitar a few years ago, and I have a different appreciation for it now, and seeing the way his fingers move so fast and on it, and how they make the sounds they do, it's just phenomenal. Whenever I try to play guitar, anytime I touch a Led Zeppelin song,
another thing about Jimmy Page was in the songs he wanted to make sure to highlight all 4 of the band members. So like making sure you can hear John Bonham on the drums and John Paul Jones on the bass, and then just Robert Plant vocals, and then obviously guitar solos by him.
How they kind of were hated by critics, like especially Rolling Stone magazine, but at the same time they had like a cult following. It was like, here's what the critics are saying, but here's reality, and people love this band.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see their rise from. I mean, the second they stepped on the scene, they were just off.
Yeah, people wanted them. I didn't know that Robert Plant had to go, like, he became unhoused before he got into a band.
Yeah.
I thought he was band after band, and I thought him and John Bonham were the first 2 to met, but it was really Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones.
Yeah, that was interesting. And how John Paul Jones' wife is always like, you need to stay away from Robert.
No, that's John Bonham's wife.
John Bonham, yeah. She was always telling him to stay away from him.
He's trouble, which he is.
Yeah, and see, we didn't really find out how that manifests or anything about what happened with Bonham, but
I bet you're right that they're gonna do a sequel.
Because they could do becoming Led Zeppelin, and then later on being Led Zeppelin.
And then the end of Led Zeppelin.
I don't know, another bequeathing Led Zeppelin.
We are Led Zeppelin. Or just Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, so I liked it. It was a great movie. Sometimes with the music scenes, as much as I like it, they got a little long. But
it felt like you were watching a music video.
But
also, like, I want to hear the documentary.
Yeah, and also it did give some good context to the scene and how the music scene was. But when we were watching it, I was like, oh, geez, how the hell are they going to get in all this important stuff?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like...
So it'd be good to know that going into it.
Yeah, that it is just about the beginning of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, and the first 2 albums. Because there's so much to cover with 3 and 4, and they just didn't even
like Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, they don't even mention it.
They, like, worked on it in a castle.
And
the Satanism, like, Jimmy Page was obsessed with, who's that famous...
Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. He bought his house.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're into Led Zeppelin, you'll like this movie.
Yeah. I would honestly rate it like a 90.
90?
Yeah. Just, I love Led Zeppelin. The only thing I didn't like were the long music video types of scenes. But I love seeing the bands, especially when they were hearing John Bonham's voice, just reminisce on it in such a positive manner, and like you can just tell they had so much fun during that period of their lives.
And I'm not sure what Rotten Tomatoes rated it. I'll put it right here. But then I would give it an 85. I liked it, and I would say of rock documentaries, it is up there with my favorites. But as far as like movies, it's just those little long scenes that I got a little tired of. But I mean, other than that, it was a great movie.
Anyone who has an interest in Led Zeppelin would love it.
Also, the end was kind of abrupt.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they could have spiced it up a little bit. It was just like, here's this quote, goodbye.
Yeah.
And I thought they were supposed to show all of them together in the same room.
You're probably right, but there's more coming.
Yeah, that must be right.
Yeah. I would watch it again.
Yeah.
And I never
can see that.
do that with most movies. It was good, and it's a feel-good, friendly, like a family-friendly movie.
I will say that was probably the most interesting part of it, was seeing all the different things they did before they got together. I knew like the Yardbirds and stuff, but it was just there was this artist that went and saw that exact show that they showed in there, one of their first shows, and it's a really famous artist, and I think it was Eric Clapton. But whenever he was sitting in the back, he was so astonished with it that he started doing music himself. But I'm thinking it can't be Eric Clapton
No,
because he was in the
Jimmy-
Yardbirds.
Yeah, Jimmy Page played with Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
I might not rate it a 90. I'll go with an 85 like you. But we both.
Well, you love it. I'm a Beatles guy, but Led Zeppelin is definitely up there.
Yeah, Zeppelin is the best. Musically. I don't
And
know about their personal.
If you know who I'm talking about, that was at the Led Zeppelin show and was sitting in the back and was inspired to start music because they were at that Zeppelin show in either New York or London, put it in the comments, because I don't remember who it is, and it's an interesting fact.
Well, we loved the movie, and that's our review.
We're almost home. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Bye.